We've got a big problem, people. You don't realise how big. I've seen this tactic before. Well, I wasn't around, I wasn't alive, but I've seen it. It changed the course of the world. And this will affect everyone right down to the grassroots level of council. How? How many councils have got Liberal members in them or former Liberal members in them running for mayor? Chairman Hanson, eh? Is that what we're going to have? Chairman Hanson running Australia? Right, come back. What are we essentially? I'll tell you what this is. They're essentially trying to form a uniparty between the Liberal coalition and One Nation, and to dissolve the Labor Party completely. The Labor Party are throwing themselves under the bus. I've been saying this the whole time. The Liberal Party purposely dissolved themselves. This has been brewing for quite some time. We're running out of time to walk away from this shit. The digital cage is coming.
Senator Hanson, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
The former coalition parties are looking for leadership. Are you offering yourself as a potential leader?
To the coalition parties? No, I'm not. I'm the leader for One Nation, what we represent, what we stand for, our policies, and that I'm delivering that to the Australian people.
So what would this agreement look like if you were to join forces with the coalition?
My main aim is to get rid of the Labor Greens government. They've destroyed this country with their policies. We've become a social basket case. I just feel that the economy is on the downturn. Interest rates are rising. People can't get in the housing market. Mass migration, climate change issues, all these things that are impacting on the Australian people. Labor and Greens have to go. What I would guarantee the Australian people, if we have a coalition of say the Libs, Nats and One Nation, if we need our numbers to form government, I would say to the coalition side, the Libs and Nats, we will give you the numbers to form government. We will give you confidence and supply. That means the bills can be paid, but
Look at that face. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I'm not going to get all fucking conspiratorial on you. I'm not going to say it's Donald Trump in a mask. What I am going to point out is it's speech. It's not government. It's not government. She's not Scouser, it's not governor. It's government. They all call it government. What's government? Because that's not government. I know, it's like they're talking about something else all the time. Like a sleight of hand, but a verbal sleight of hand. Kind of how they all hiccup and fuck up and purposely stuff up their oaths of office. I do so solemnly swear something rah rah, and they'll miss a word out or add a word in, or slur a word. Constitutionally, at law, if they make one little hiccup, they meant to start again. One little hiccup. I didn't swear that. You didn't hear me. I didn't mean that. Like, it's a verbal hiccup is a back door. Believe it or not, it's a back door. Especially if they swear on the wrong Bible. No, it's just symbolic. No, it's not. There is a certain process that has to be adhered by. so that then it cannot be denied. That's why, just like a cop is meant to wear a hat when dealing anything to do with the public whatsoever, when conducting any police business, because he is meant to be understanding the law. And understanding the law is standing under his oath, and he swears an oath to what's on his hat. The Constitutional Royal Seal, the Great Seal of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Australia. Not the Australian Constitution, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Australia, which is the people's constitution, not the government's constitution. They're meant to serve the people, not the government, and definitely not government. Beginning to look a lot like Larry Ellison. Everywhere you look and listen and everything else.
I will not take on ministerial positions. I want that independence. You will not control and tell One Nation what to do. We will look at legislation based on its merit, and we will either support you on it or we will actually make amendments to it.
We don't care about your legislation. We want law.
So you're not going to be offering them formal seats if you were to win more?
No, it's just the numbers that you need to form government, and we will give them those numbers. But they're not going to have control or tell One Nation, because we'll end up with the same problems that they have now with each other. They can't agree on legislation, and, you know, thrown out of the cabinet, the shadow cabinet, and all the rest of it. I'm not going to be part of that, right? Yes, we need to get rid of Labor and Greens, but we're going to do it in such a way that if they need the numbers, if we do have the numbers there, yes.
And what would you be asking for in return?
Nothing. There's nothing I'd ask for in return. No ministerial positions, nothing. Because that way I can still represent the people without fear or favour, and that's what the people are screaming out for. That's more important to me.
So has your position changed, Chair, or this is...
Hang on. I'm going to put this to Lee Hansen. Which people? It's all well and good to sit there and say, the people. Which people? We the people or they the people? I'm going to whack it on them hard on it, I'm telling you. The questions that nobody will ask. I've got them coming out of my ears. By the time I'm done, I'm near going to have an essay for them. I'm going to have questions that they won't be able to ignore, written in such a way, because these aren't just my questions, you know. As anyone that knows me knows, I have quite a bit to do with the good people of this community. Even some of the not so good ones. Because they want to be good people in this community but cannot get a break because the fucking police won't let them get a break. Oh yeah. When they've got grubs on the payroll, the crabs that drag all the big crabs that drag the little crabs back in the bucket every 2 years, in the revolving door, how are they meant to get a break? It's funny, it just seems funny to me. It's always the same people that rock up on people's doorsteps the day they get out of prison and they got a big bag of crack and a wad of cash. It's just every time. They're out for a little while, they go back in. And they come back out. certain people go to prison and they come out twice the size. Somehow a little bit more intelligent with some things. It's just like they come back out somebody else. Like somebody has been mentoring them. And it's funny, because I've spoke to people that have been down there, and they said, oh, you see such and such down there? No. Everyone thinks they're down there in main population. But nobody's seen them. But yet they've been in prison. I've got a whole bunch of shit I want to throw, because the corruption's got to stop. It's rotten to the core.
This has always been your position though, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. That's why I won't form with any other minor parties out there. I don't want the rabble. I don't want the, infighting. I don't want the factions. Labor's controlled by the unions. The coalition is controlled by the moderates and multinationals and different ones. One Nation is not controlled by anyone. We're here to represent the people.
Are you worried that this could be perceived that you'd become more mainstream if you're giving them more support? And what would you just say to people that might have those concerns?
But I've always been mainstream. I've been right of centre. I'm not an extremist by no means. That's why people now are realising, waking up to One Nation, what we stand for. And that's why the people are saying, yes, we're going to support them. We want that type of government or those policies introduced into Australia for us, the people. So I don't look at that. I'm becoming more mainstream. These people, even the Libs, and they've gone too far to the left. Bring back the conservative values, the family values, the work values, the small business, enterprise, growth.
How many seats are you hoping to win at the next election?
I don't. I haven't put a number on it. That's not...
They're all nice and fluffy catchphrases, aren't they? Look, I'm not... Because I'm wording my questions in such a way, and they're so geopolitical, they're based around our resources, our minerals, our military, law, constitutionality, third-tier government, which is unlawful, corruption, sovereignty, not citizenship. You can stick your citizenship back and go and sink your ship. You can go and sink that citizenship. It needs to be sunk. I'm going to be talking about a judiciary, a constabulary, lodges, Lions Club, Rotary Club, charity, all the things that people do not vote on. Everybody votes on their own need, which is why it's another reason why I will not vote. I'm not going to vote. No way in hell am I going to vote for anyone that will not swear a lawful oath of office which puts them under the Constitution and the people above it. They do that and then I will. So I need to know what people Pauline is talking about. It's very, very well and good to say the people, because what I'm seeing here is preloaded questions. She's not searching for the answer. She knows the answer. She's trying to remember the answer. This is a script.
It's not up to me, that's up to the people, how they vote. And I hope that we can, if we can't, form government or opposition, I hope that we have the balanced power, meaning that we have enough seats either in the lower house, the Senate, or both, to hold the government to account, so they can't get their legislation through without the support from One Nation.
Because a lot of people are looking to you now as, someone that they're invested in. So what's the dream? Are you hoping to become the official opposition and one day the government?
Look, if I don't put that confidence in myself and to the people that I want to eventually become that, or the party for that matter, why would they vote for me? It's like if you start up a business, you do anything. Yes, you want the best for that business. Yes, you want the business to grow. Why would you do it otherwise? And I think that the country has suffered enough under the leadership of both the Labor and the Coalition for many years now. We've seen the decline. People want...
All right, we're going back to catchphrases. I started the business once out of necessity. It lasted for nearly 10 years, and then it got to a point where, because of economics, the whole economics of real estate, inflation, the tax system, everything was forcing me into a position to have to grow beyond where I wanted to grow to. I was doing well out of it. I was quite happy with it. But in order to be able to remain viable in business, I was being forced to grow into something I never wanted it to be. I never wanted a behemoth. I never wanted an empire. I just wanted a humble little business with me on my own and maybe another person. I wanted to be able to put my kids through an apprenticeship if they were interested in becoming panel beaters, fiberglassers, spray painters or whatever. It got to a point where I was working for the tax man, working for inflation. I went from making good money to working for everyone that handed me a tax invoice. All my suppliers. And the tax man. I ended up having to take on a second job because I cannot sleep well ripping people off, and I knew that to be able to remain viable, I had to charge prices which did not sit well with me. It just doesn't. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Charging someone $200,000 to restore a car is fucking theft. But they got no choice but to do it. And I won't steal. I won't thieve off people. But people are charging up to $200,000 to restore a car, to put them on a rotary, on a rotisserie, spin them around and do the undercarriage and all that. And it's retarded. That is insane. The only reason those cars are worth the money that they're worth is because of that. And falsely inflated prices at auctions of people bidding on their own vehicles. To the point we got American people coming over here paying $1 million for a car that sold for $5,200 brand spanking new with a set of 5-slotters, the XY GDHO Phase 3 Falcon. For $5,270 or something it was. Brand spanker. $5,299.90. For the Bathurst edition with the set of globes, it was $7,000 and something. $1 million for a car that's actually a piece of shit. Now come on, they're a nice looking vehicle. I do. I love them. Just as much as I love me 68 SS Camaro. Or old Dodges and old Monaros and SLRs. But they're a heap of shit. Fucking terrible to drive. They don't stop, they don't corner. They're quick in a straight line and they're the first thing off the side of the road into a paddock. And the point is, what was I coming at? Yeah, business. Why did I start a business? That wasn't the reason I started a business. I started a business, A, out of necessity. B, I got sick of working my guts out to just scrape by to take home just a little bit more than the dole. That's why. Nobody really wants to take on all that stress and bullshit. I was in a situation where I was the only driver in the house, had a kid born. I wasn't quite reliable enough for some people, although I've got the skills, the knowledge. Had things going on in my life which actually forced me into that situation. And I was watching, it was 2008. I actually started a business during a financial crisis and it was viable. Isn't that crazy? 2008, 2009. I gave birth to a business with $4,000 in my driveway. Being in business isn't all that it's cracked up to be, and people know that. So, come on, Pauline. I think Pauline's, she's still got a head start. In some ways, her business brain is still stuck in a fish and chip shop. I don't think she's got scruples.
Change. Yes, my policies are going to stop mass migration and address the climate change and, the bills and escalating prices and electricity. I want to renew industry and manufacturing here, look after our defence, the vets out there, the age pensioners, everyone's struggling. I want to cut taxes so that people get more money in their pocket.
Fuck, that looked like Tony Abbott then. Didn't it?
Back government spending. The economy's in dire straits at the moment, and it's all due to government spending. No productivity. So these are things that I want to give to the people. Yes, I'm going to push for the party to have a position in this parliament that we will have a bigger say.
Would you like to be Prime Minister one day?
Look, that's counting my chickens before they hatch. I'm realistic about my age and the time frame that we have. Although I tell you what, I'd leave a lot of the others for dead, running up and down these corridors and the energy that I have to these people. But it's about passion, dedication, and it's not about Pauline Hanson becoming Prime Minister, I can assure you. It's about getting the right people in positions to deliver for the Australian people.
But without forming an official agreement with the coalition or with the Liberal and Nationals parties, how would you do that?
No, I don't need to form an official agreement. See, once the election's finished and we see how the numbers fall, as many a time that they actually have to go to the other one and say, well, look, for us to form government, we need your help, your support. And I said, well, fine, okay. We'll give you confidence, we'll give you supply. We don't want ministerial positions because you're not going to control us. And if you put up legislation that's not in the best interest of this country or the people, I'll tell you no. And you won't get our support on that vote. Not like the Nats who are being dragged along, kicking and screaming on some policies they put up. They don't want to vote with it, but they're forced to because they're in this coalition. I'm not going to put One Nation in the same position as the National Party.
There's nothing organic about this. Every single channel is pushing Pauline Hanson. They're pushing her. And everybody, all the other parties and politicians are throwing themselves under the bus. It's easy to say you're winning when you're way out in front and you turn around and everyone's just walking. Or they're running flat out on a treadmill and going nowhere. It could be my cynicism. Maybe I'm just a bit cynical in my old age just because I'm sick to fucking death of the bullshit and the lies. I'm pretty good at spotting them. But I don't think that's it. I've got far too much invested in the future that I'm not going to be alive in, you know? I've far too much invested in the future that doesn't involve me to just hand it over, to just believe a politician just one last time, just one more time. I just don't. I think it's high time the boy got eaten by the wolf. It's the boy who cried wolf. It's just non-stop. I think it's high time the boy got eaten by the wolf. And we go and live in the Goldilocks zone. Where it's just right. Contentment. Instead of chasing the undreamable dream, the uncatchable catch, the unseeable sight, you know, it's everyone's chasing happiness in numbers. Numbers go on till forever, infinity. They don't stop. So you're never going to be happy doing that. You're never going to be happy doing that. Why are you chasing happiness? Contentment is bliss. I was having this conversation with somebody today. Contentment is bliss. If things get a bit tough, it's not so far down to do it tough, you know. You can cope with that. You don't trip over, fall and hurt yourself. And contentment's just there. It's within reach. It's always within reach. Happiness are the small things that everyone takes for granted, and you appreciate it. But if you live in happiness, it becomes anticlimactic, mundane, boring. Now I watch that and then I think, well, what was the purpose of the radio show with the Kyle and Jackie O radio show with Anthony Mundine? What was the point in that? And then coming and saying this shit. Well, what are you? Are you a provocateur or are you a leader? Have you got our best interests at heart? Or are you a divider? Which one is it? Pick one, Pauline. Because I would have flatly refused to do the show. I said, no. I'm not getting roped into an argument with the fucking coconut. Why? So I can remind everybody that we're not meant to argue? How do you tell everyone to argue without telling them to argue? Remind them not to. It's kind of like, how do you get a kid to do something he shouldn't do? Tell him don't do that. Of course he's going to go do it. Why? Because you tell him not to do it. Up he goes sideways just like a crab. I find it very difficult to trust anybody with ML or the Honourable or local member or whatever. It's just, no. I just can't do it. I can't trust it. I can't be trusted anymore. I think, how many chances do you give government? They all go to Parliament House to work for government and claim they're working for the people. Well, Roundup works for your garden too, doesn't it? It kills the weeds. Now, are you considered grass or weeds? I think it's honestly, it's just my opinion. I'd love to be wrong because I've got two beautiful kids in there. That's what I mean. I'm invested in a world that doesn't involve me, that I'm not alive for. I'm 1,000,000% in, boots and all, in a world that doesn't even concern me. they deserve better. They deserve better than this fucking shit. And I'll call it that. It's fucking shit. It's disgusting. It's putrid. The slimy lies and the constant... They don't even hide it anymore, in the sense that we're the economy. We're not even the people anymore. Australia is an economy, apparently. What the fuck? I'm not a number. I'm me. I'm not even my name. That's just my name. I'm me. Once that penny drops, when you realise that you are you, not your name, not your job, not the brand name of clothes you wear, not the group you knock about with, not the party you vote for, not your favourite football team, you, once you figure that out on the inside, the entire world looks entirely fucking different. You won't like what you see. And then people rock up at your door, like, with a warrant or whatever, like, is this you? No, it's a piece of fucking paper. So this isn't you then. Duh! I'm me. That's a piece of paper. So this isn't you. No, that's some words on a piece of paper. With reference to my title, my name, sake. So is your name David Rogers? No, it's David Allen of the family Rogers. David Allen is my name. Rogers is the family I'm from. But I am me. People just can't conceptualise with that. They have to try and overcomplicate it with certification. Are you certified that this is you? Don't need to be. I'm just here, aren't I? Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Right, yeah, I'm me. I'm here. Now look a bit deep. Look a bit deeper. A bit deeper. Deeper again. Boo! Did you feel that? That bit that made you feel that is what's you. The rest of it's just a meat wagon, and that's a piece of paper. I know to the average Joe Block that seems a bit cuckoo, doesn't it? Well, once you figure that out, everything else looks cuckoo. It's fucking queer. Makes no sense at all. Why is everybody running around like this? Why is everybody selling their precious finite time that they have on this earth for bits of paper with numbers written on them? You're people, not an economy. You're not a commodity. Your time is not a commodity. It's finite. It's the most finite and precious resource that you have. So that you live the type of life that lives on in other people's hearts after you're gone. Jim Morrison, I believe, Jim Morrison was, yeah man, I know, right? One of the greatest things that I've heard came from Jim Morrison. Did you live a good life and a full life before you died? The kind of life that they would base a movie or a book on?